Alright guys, we have a brand new stage in the DB Saga of Red Zone, which is against Great Ape Kid Goku. We also have some new missions as well. One for beating the stage with 6 Earthling category units. One I'm not overly sure I'll be able to do. And then another one for also using 6 DB Saga units as well, which I might be able to squeeze through with the easy A of Int Yamcha, but we'll have to see. So as always, we're going to hop into this completely blind. I'm going to build a team. We're just going to beat it. And I'm hoping for a brand new difficult stage in Dokkan we can start testing units against. So here we are. Great Ape Goku is indeed a super class enemy. Something we don't really have too often in Dokkan. I know we do have Blue Goku, but just in general, we don't typically have often super class enemies. And already off the bat, we can't seal, we can't stun. However, we can lower his attack. So that's quite interesting. Does have an AoE. What else do you do here? So he also grants enemies with -3 key. A little bit annoying, but with the team we're rocking, key should never be an issue. He'll randomly change all key spheres and also reduces damage below a certain amount to 0. So no dodge nullification. Now, if this Great Ape Kid Goku is putting out numbers, again, we could possibly have a brand new, like, most difficult enemy in the game that doesn't involve dodge nullification, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm completely on board for. And I just said that orbs wouldn't be an issue. Currently, orbs is being an issue right now. I'm not gonna lie. I can't super attack with anyone who goes in slot 1. What was if I put Goku there? Goku is the only unit I can get away with, but I have to rely on him dodging. We're just gonna have to rely on additionals. Yeah, this isn't healthy. But for key, this really isn't healthy. Not a single 18 key super attack on this rotation. 150 on the normal. 158 on the AoE on AGL Vegeta. 59k on Goku. How much on the super? 1.2 milli. Okay, Dokkan, I see you. We're back, and it is the next day. I have loaded up on dodge units. I'm doing exactly what I said would be good for this stage from yesterday's video, stating that dodge units are pretty much back. Not that they really ever left, but the fact that they're more back than they initially were in the game because of all this dodge cancelling meta stuff. And I'm glad Tech UI is putting in this kind of work right now. We need to clear the fraud allegation statements put against you after the 10th anniversary, because this man right here, for some reason, during and after the 10th anniversary, just didn't really feel like dodging. It was like, oh, you know, because Gogeta and Vegeta are here, I don't really need to do dodging no more. They're too good. No. We still want you to dodge. We still need you to dodge. Now, yesterday took all of my attempts. You're probably only going to see one of them, just because a lot of them are just literally rinse repeat. You know, we're like 3 to 5 turns deep. We get caught out. We die. Now, since there's no dodge cancelling in this, and Great Ape Kid Goku just hits very hard, has AoEs, but there's no dodge cancelling, a lot of the dodge units are actually going to be really good here. Considering this is one phase, and while he is quite beefy, not say Blue Goku levels of beefy, but still beefy. You know, even though it is a one-phase fight, you're pretty much in the deep end. No dinghy, no armbands, no floaties, no pool noodles, nothing. You're in the deep end, told to basically swim. Pull out a backstroke. So this is why we're rocking up with dodge units. Tech Caulifla is going to be an MVP. I'm calling it now, just because she has guaranteed dodge against Great Ape Kid Goku, because he's a pure Saiyan enemy, so she's going to be really good here. No normals, no super attacks, no AoEs are going to be hitting her right here. So considering I've noticed, especially now doing a 7th attempt on this, the majority of the time that, yeah, do you know what, we'll leave you here because you've got guaranteed dodge. And then because we're leaving you here, do you know what, I'm going to save all those orbs for Super Saiyan Goku. Because we're leaving him here, we've already got our Universe Survival Saga category ally with Tech UI on the other rotation. We can then just float him off. Actually, was that really the play? I don't think that was actually the play. I mean, we can rely on Tech, Kale, and Caulifla to dodge. It's just a matter of will they dodge everything in slot 1. I mean, regardless, the following rotation was going to be a bit techie anyway, especially with Tech, Kale, and Caulifla being in slot 7. And then having both AGL UI and Tech Caulifla here with guaranteed dodge for this turn. It took me all 7 attempts. It really did take me all 7 attempts. I don't know if that was just a skill issue. It probably is. I mean, there's partial factor that is probably my fault. Maybe team builds. And, you know, maybe also I just got kind of unlucky with who was getting super attacked. And the fact that if there was a bit of dodge in there, maybe some units just weren't actually dodging. You know, maybe that was also a part to play, more than likely. However, I did watch either 3 dupe or rainbow. I can't remember, but it's not going to make that much of a difference of 1 dupe. I watched Beast Gohan. Granted, it was his first attack he took, because even with the minimal amount of dodge he has in his hidden potential system, he decided to dodge the first normal, and then the only other attack he had in slot 1 ended up being a super attack from Great Ape Kid Goku. So yes, it was the first attack, so he didn't really have anything extra. However, it was his first appearance. This wasn't... Actually, I'm going to leave Tech UI here for 1 more turn. And then rotate him off pretty much when everything else is all good. It was his first initial appearance, so he was fresh. He was fresh into the fight. And I watched Beast Gohan, again, granted, on the first initial attack he took, take about 750k on a super attack. Now, that's probably better than quite a few units that I've seen so far in this event. You know, I've watched AGL Super Saiyan Vegeta take like 1.2 and 5 milli. But watching Beast Gohan take 750k in slot 1 was kind of crazy. Again, granted, there was no extra attack before he ended up taking the super attack. He dodged the only other one there was. Still, 750k on his first appearance is a lot. A lot. Now, if there is going to be a super attacker turn, which I did have 1 run, and I must have got very lucky with this run. I did have 1 run where he didn't actually super attack me at all. So if we could have that now, that would be great. Barely any additional normals with these two, which is really jarring, but it is what it is. And that is what I'm looking for from them. The dodge. The dodge. The dodge. That 90% dodge chance they have is going to be big here before we do get the transformation out. I think I'm still going to go for the same strat. I actually don't remember which run I mentioned this in. It might have been the first, but I can't remember because there was 6 in total. And again, you're probably only going to see the first run rather than rinse repeat of me dying. But at some point during my runs yesterday, I did mention I think the go-to strat is pretty much as soon as we get the fusions available for both Vegito, Gogeta, no matter where they are, we're popping them. We're going for the damage, we're going for the counters, we're going for the support, no matter who's on the rotation, and we're going for that dub. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen too much mentioned when it comes to the missions, etc. To be fair, if we really wanted to, we could actually try and do this. I could also do that. That might be a shout. I'm actually intrigued to see how the AGL Super Saiyan Goku portion of that unit and then the Tech Super Saiyan Vegeta portion of the Vegeta unit tank in slot 1. Then also, I don't really want to die either. So there's also that. So I think, I mean, this rotation, I'm going to have both UIs. So I think I'm going to leave the Goku here. I mean, he can dodge as well. I think that's just kind of the safer bet. Especially because also Goku can dodge the AoE on top of potentially a super attack as well. Along with having guard. And then we can also build up some defense. Dodge? Question mark? Good stuff. Dodge or die units are the go-to for this stage. They really are. What turn are we up to? 4. To be fair, we're only just getting near to half health. So yeah, I was kind of right when talking about dodge units like really having a home again with this stage. So I think this is definitely a stage I'm going to revisit when it comes to units that have dodge or primarily rely on dodge and couldn't really be taken in against Super Saiyan Goku. Like, for example, the Super Saiyan Goku Exchange Gohan unit, amazing EZA. Probably at the time, one of the best units in EZAs in the whole game. But because one of the go-to events, one of the go-to difficult stages in Dokkan at that point was just complete dodge cancellation nullification, they kind of faded very quickly. Because one of the hardest events in the game stopped them doing what they were good at. Whereas, of course, Jiren, who does that at the very end, they had time to do their thing, get Gohan out. You had to baby the Goku portion of the unit. So you ended up missing out when it came to that. You want to pop the domain now? Do I want to pop... I don't actually know if I want to pop the domain now just because he isn't next to UI. But then I'm thinking, do I just use it? Do I just pop that? I'm going to pop it because also it does also guarantee dodge for him as well. So we might as well. You know, before I even actually get my two UIs together, I might actually end up beating the event, which I don't really mind. You know, as long as we get the dub, I don't really care. You know, in an event like that, where you had dodge cancellation from the get-go, you were in there for a while, like over 10 turns easy because he has over 1 billion HP. It took a while. It ended up catching that unit out because you had to baby the Super Saiyan Goku portion of the unit, and he got you killed. Unless you used items, which obviously... a lot of people in the game now, like a good portion is pretty much, if you use items, don't want to know. Obviously, I'm against that. I don't mind if you use items. They're part of the game. Go for it, especially when clearing stages, etc. But of course, when you want to show units off, you're going to want to use items. You're going to want to not to use items. You really want to show how good a unit is. And obviously, showing that the fact they don't depend on items and they don't need items in the toughest stages really gives them some brownie points. So obviously, I was not going to use items. With items, that Super Saiyan Goku survives. He actually does, I wouldn't say okay, but, you know, you're able to get Gohan out a hell of a lot easier, of course. With an event like this, where dodge is possible, and this is somewhat difficult, dodge units like that, or units that are heavily dependent on dodge, we can now test them in here. They can now have a playground. They can now have a proving ground to show how good they really are. And I'm completely here for it. So what turn are we up to right now? We are on bang on turn, no, we're now on turn 6. You know what? I think I might just rotate AGL UI off because we've got both fusions ready. I'm going to pop this just because the domain is active. We are missing some links, but still 1.5 mil, 4 mil crit I'll take. But we might as well pop all of these. We may as well. So yeah, we're literally going to end this on turn 6. More than likely going to end this on turn 6. We might even end it now with a type advantage from Gogeta. Close. Close. Not quite yet, but close. Is Vegito going to end it with his active skill, or we're going to have to actually let the rotation play out and get some counters involved? How are we looking? Are we done? Yeah, we're done. The fusions end it. So that was the game plan after all. Get the fusions out, let the fusion wrap it up, and we are finished on turn 6. So it's similar to Fusion Zamasu. However, it doesn't feel as cheap and as overly difficult as Zamasu. But it is a very good stage. I actually really do like this stage and do think it's quite difficult. It's funny how yesterday it took me all 6 attempts and I didn't beat this stage. And then today I do 1 attempt with a decent amount of dodge units and I end up beating it in 1 try. So clearly Great Ape Kid Goku's kryptonite is dodge units. And let me know what you used to beat him down in the comments. That Earthlings mission does really seem like a struggle, I'm not going to lie, on paper. And especially if you don't have Tao, you don't have Tien, and of course, you don't have Easy A Yamcha, who will be here, what, in like a day or two's time? So I think it's going to be a struggle for us who don't have those big boy Earthling units that are coming recently. But if you have beaten it without it, do let me know as well. But I think that mission's going to be a struggle. But I haven't really heard too much about that. But on paper, it does look like it's going to be a difficult one. But yeah, let me know what you used to beat this down in the comments and how you found this brand new stage. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a great day, and peace.